Wax Media. This is Sean. And I'm here to tell you I got something about Steve Deace. And the truth bomb about Steve Deace is Steve Deace is someone that wants to position himself to act like he's more superior, don't you know, than the other conservatives out there. We have Steve Deace, Jonah Goldberg, Eric Erickson, Ben Shapiro, David French, Rich Rowley, and others tried to be more sanctimonious than ever and think that they're more conservative and they're more principled than you. And they want to sit there and position themselves to be able to pounce and to attack because, well, we said, don't you know, that Trump is not a conservative, Trump is not going to do this, Trump is not going to do that. In order for them to be right, they must do a strongman argument to make their point, to make it sound like they're correct when they're not correct at all. And this is a complete farce. This is a complete fallacy. That is not true. They want to sit there and make it sound like you're telling the truth. It's a truth bomb that should not surprise you. It's something that I'm going to correct you on. Right now, I'm going to do something for you because it's a failure. It's something that needs to happen. And I'm doing you a favor here. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to do you a favor right now because what I'm about to do is going to be great. It's going to be great, folks. This is crazy. These people don't even know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be crazy. And I'm doing you a favor. Where in the world is this? I'm trying to do you a favor. Yeah, no, this is crazy, folks. This is crazy. They're trying to act like they're conservative, but they are not conservative. They're sitting there trying to position themselves, act like they're principled and conservative, but they're not conservative. Here's something that you need to know, and this is the truth. I'm going to sit there and give you a little something. Steve Deace, you lying. Steve Deace, you're a liar, and I'm going to expose you. I'm going to expose you.
Yeah. Basically saying, I'm coming anyway. Then around dinner time, no, he's not. To explain what is going on, I want to tell a story. Can I tell a story? Sure I can, because over my shoulder, you need to just read this chapter. It's that good. By one of the great historical time periods in the game's history. And the first time they played was in 1969. And Woody Hayes and Ohio State had won 23 games in a row.
No one cares about your stupid analogies. Get to the point.
Okay. Blows the whistle, motions his players to go down. Bo turns around and he looks at his players. What do you think's going on inside the tunnel with those players in his helmet, wearing those winged helmets, as they're about to come out of the field? What do they think happened? What they think happened is he went out there and gave the old man what for. He waved the white flag a few hours later. There's no, and it doesn't do my value system any good to have the quarterback that I didn't draft him. It's better than this. But you can't do that now because now it'll just be played as if Trump just did a temporary option so he can have his speech. I don't know, I'll just, no BS. Everybody, you've listened to the show, I'm good buddies with Chip Roy. I won't share you our private conversations. But man, if he called me up and asked me, as he's done it on occasion, hey, how do you win this? My answer is, same answer Barack Obama gave Rick Warren once about when's a life a life. Above my pay grade. I don't know how you win. I don't know how you make 2 + 2 = 7. I don't know how you do that. So this is now. I gave you guys about a 35-minute warning. Because I'm seeing from conservatives that this puts pressure on Pelosi. I have no idea what pressure this puts on Pelosi. No, I mean she's the queen of the damned right now. So I would like to be wrong, and I want you guys to now tell me why I'm wrong about this. Todd,
you're almost certainly not wrong. because you know the people, we all know the people that we're involved with, and we've increasingly become suspicious that Trump is just one of those other people. As Steve has said, same cake, just different frosting. But as I also said a couple days ago regarding immigration, you gotta kind of game theory it, kind of put pieces together and say what.
Well, I'm going to tell you something right now. Steve Deace is wrong. Steve Deace is a fraud. Steve Deace is trying to set himself up to be a true conservative, while everyone else, like Mark Levin and Dennis Prager, and all these people are going to be non-true conservatives. But I'm here to tell you, we are true conservatives. They're trying to sit. They knee-jerk reactions, knee-jerk comments, and they're trying to set up that Trump is wrong here. Trump is right in fighting for the House, and we should not have the State of the Union unless it's in the House of Representatives. And she can keep it going as long as she wants to because, well, guess what? It doesn't matter. You gotta care for things to matter, and they don't care. So yes, even if he got tough, it wouldn't matter because they don't care. So therefore, what he's doing is saying, I'm not going to do the State of the Union until there's a freaking House of Representatives. I can go in there and try to bang down the doors at 9 o'clock on Tuesday to do the State of the Union. But will they let Trump in? No, they won't let Trump in. And as far as the shutdown, I got news to you, Mr. Phony Steve Deace. House and Senate don't want the wall. Because the Republicans want cheap labor, the Democrats want a cheap vote. And so it doesn't really matter. Put the camera on me, I don't care. I'm going to have the camera put on me. You know what? I'm here to tell you something, folks. Steve Deace is a fraud because you know what? Congress don't want a wall. Republicans want a free, cheap labor, and the Democrats want a free vote. And you know what? I don't give a damn how long this lasts. This national emergency. Yes, I know Congress is going to sit there and stop it. So is the courts. So is everybody. Everyone's going to sit there and say, no, you can't do this. The Congress is going to say you can't do this. The courts are going to say you can't do this. The courts are going to probably stop it. But you know what? You don't worry about that. Even if the chips, it doesn't pass the court system. And even if it gets shut down by the courts, so what? It's because we're trying to protect this goddamn country that no one seems to care about. And Pelosi shut down the State of the Union. And the House and Senate shut down the government. Trump said it because he wanted to just agree to disagree. So Nancy and Chuck can shut up and they continue on with this talking in the little room there they were in a conference room or whatever. But you know what? It doesn't matter. They are not going to ever agree. That was just appeasing them so they could shut up and they can finish the little meeting they had. But you know what? It's not going to work, and because they don't want to agree. The Democrats don't want to agree. And you're wrong, Mr. Steve Deace. They don't want to agree. They're not going to do anything because they don't want to agree to anything. They don't want anything to happen. They're not going to agree, Mr. Steve Deace.
What is even remotely possible, in order to answer your question, there's no way what he just did gives him any more leverage. In my mind, the only way this is even remotely possible to actually be a win for Trump is if the win happened already, and part of the win was an agreement that he would not speak and allow her to save face. If the wall is now going to happen, somehow that agreement happened, and I just about laughed. I was going to say handshake agreement. Of course, that sounds insane because they won't be held to anything. I know, but if I'm just trying to be honest about the only way possible that this is a win, there's no leverage to be had if Trump does not already have that agreement somehow, some way in his pocket that she has agreed that the wall will happen.
I think the logic behind people saying, and I'm seeing that as well, Steve, people saying this puts pressure on Pelosi is that now this is one less bargaining chip that she has with Trump. Well, if that's the case, again, going back to why would you send out that letter yesterday? If this was actually on the table for him to just capitulate to Pelosi, why would you send out that letter? So I'm not sure how that gives you more leverage or puts more pressure on your opponent? I don't get that part of the logic, but I think the law.
He's not backing down from Nancy Pelosi. See, that's your knee-jerk reaction. He's not backing down from Nancy Pelosi. He is sitting there saying, I'm going to have it in the house, or I'm not going to have it at the people's house. And he's not sitting there telling to Pelosi, when you're not going to have the State of the Union. So because his it's got to be somewhere else. And he said, no, it's got to be there. It's got to be there. And so what he's going to do is he's going to fight harder and harder and harder to get that wall. And then when it does pass, then he will have it there. Can't have it to the wall. Then she has to know. Well, then guess what? She still went because now she got to sit there and force him to have it somewhere else. And see, I told you, because she is in the House. She appropriates all the funds. She appropriates whether or not Trump can use the House or not. So guess what? She wins because she says no to. So therefore, she already did win because even if we did have the State of the Union on Tuesday, she still wins because guess where it wouldn't be? It wouldn't be in the House. And realistically, in a practical standpoint, it couldn't be in the Senate either. It's not that big. It's not that big. The Senate is not that big, folks. House is bigger than the Senate. So there's even fewer spots for people to stand or sit or whatever. So it cannot happen there. This is the problem. These never Trump fools, these never Trump idiots, and these former never Trumpers, you guys, either you're still never Trump or you're not. Don't get it. That she won because she is saying you can't have it in the House. And can Trump have it in the House? No. So unless there's a way Trump can have it in the House, he still loses. At least now he's sitting there saying, well, I'm going to have it in the House at least when the shutdown's done. Versus if he went ahead with it, she can still sit there and say, hey, I got to kick him out of the House. Even if he still had the State of the Union, like he should say, well, he didn't stop you. Well, she could still come back and say, well, yeah, I did. I still did because I stopped him from having it in the House of Representatives. He had to go have it somewhere else when all the other presidents in the past had it inside the House of Representatives. So don't sit there and tell me that that's still not a victory because he had to go have it somewhere else. Yes, I mean, it made her look stupid, I guess, in a sense, but to me, the truth of the matter is she's still strong. And to me, I don't think that she should have the right to keep the House hostage. I'm defending my president because he deserves it here. I'm not attacking like Steve Deace. I'm here to sit there and tell you that Trump has to have it in the House of Representatives. Anyone that says have it somewhere else, no, it shouldn't be held anywhere else. That's where it should be because that's where it's supposed to be. We don't have a government right now, so I'll give a figure we have a State of the Union. She didn't win nothing. The government's still shut down. She still doesn't get to pass her socialist anymore, socialist agendas. We're not we open until we can undo the stuff that they passed. And the fact of the matter is, Steve Deace is wanting to present himself like Trump is the problem. No, Trump is not the problem. The reason why Trump is in this quagmire situation is because the House and Senate don't want to pass anything. The House and Senate don't care about repealing Obamacare. House and Senate don't care about passing reciprocity. House and Senate don't care about stopping late-term abortion. They probably cheer. Most of the people in the House and Senate, even some Republicans, probably cheered that New York vote and saying you can kill a baby 9 months into the womb, right before he's born, to kill and stick something in his head that's still alive. He still can start to think, and he still has a brain function. He's sitting there being, it's a human life. You sick son of a bitches think it's okay to kill people at the ninth trimester, the ninth month, and the third trimester. You sickles. You sick pieces of filth. You know what? This is what they're chewing in the Congress. Don't you get the problem? Steve Deace is the Congress. The problem is the House and the Senate. It's not Mr. Trump. Trump conceded to Pelosi. Trump conceded. Hey, what do you mean Trump conceded? Trump didn't concede nothing. Trump had no chance to. Trump didn't concede. It was over before he even had a choice. He didn't concede nothing. He's got to take the tractor because he can't get let into the House. And he thinks it's happening anywhere else? No, it's our House. He should have stayed in our House. And I don't think she should have the right to sit there and kick him out of our House. And I don't think that we should have to settle for anything else other than the House of Representatives. The House is where Trump should have it. So Steve Deace, the only way you can remotely try to get what you want is if he goes and tries to bang down the House and act like a little baby. Let me in and do the State of the Union. No. She, unfortunately, I like it or not, because of course I don't, has the right to say no. How is Trump supposed to get a deal? Oh, he's not the art of the deal. Yeah, you say he must not be the art of the deal. Steve Deace, be quiet. He is the art of the deal. But you can't deal with something unless someone has something they want to deal. And that's what the art of the deal is. The reason why Trump is so good at the art of the deal is because any deal he made in the private sector, somebody wanted to deal with him. No one wants to deal because no one has anything they want to give up. He has nothing for leverage that Trump can bargain with to get the deal that he wants because no one wants it. They give him this and they don't care. They don't want it. It's like, yes, they have their values. Yes, they have things that they want technically. But because the ends justifies the means, they're willing to do anything, which means they are, just to not have a wall, they are willing to sell out on principles they value and stuff that they believe in just to get it. So that means like, yeah, I'm willing to give up the wall to get it because I don't want the wall. I'm willing to sit there and sell all the principles and values I once had in regards to DACA and all the other stuff that he's willing to give up in last Saturday's announcement at 4 o'clock on Fox News Channel and C-SPAN, all the channels he was on about this, saying that it doesn't matter because I don't want to sacrifice the wall. So I'm going to sacrifice DACA, which they claim to pretend to be for. And it doesn't mean they're not for it, but they're just not willing to sell it out for the wall. They're doing whatever it takes to keep the wall. To keep the wall from happening. So they don't want the wall to happen. So all their past positions they had, they may still personally believe in them, but they're not going to do it because they don't want the wall. The Republicans don't want the wall. The Democrats don't want the wall. The vote today showed that Trump has no cards because unless Trump can vote for these stupid rhino co-pig Republicans, then what do you think Trump can do? Trump can't do a damn thing. Trump's hands are tied because the Congress don't want to do their freaking job. Don't put this on Trump, Steve Deace. I'm going to give you a truth bomb for you. You truth bomb, stupid idiot, Steve Deace. Let's listen to a little more Steve Deace as he tries to psychoanalyze Trump and say he freaking is the same ice and a different cake and how he's everything we say he is because you want to position yourself and you want to do knee-jerk responses and act like you're doing a truth bomb at us. How is this getting leverage on Nancy by him conceding? Conceding? Yeah, he lost before he even had a chance. Conceded? He didn't concede. He already lost it the very moment Nancy Pelosi said he can't have the House of Representatives. That's when he lost it. I mean, anywhere else, it's still a loss for Trump. Because unless he can have it in the House of Representatives, Nancy still wins because she can go on bragging about how I got the key from the House. I told him he couldn't have it. He didn't have the State of the Union. He can have it anywhere he wants to, but it's not in front of Congress. Anyway, he has it. You think anyone's going to show because it's a lot of work. So he's probably just going to do it to an audience of no one. And unless it's in the House, it's not a State of the Union. It's because it's not done in front of the Union in the House. It's not a State of the Union. It's just addressed to the nation. Wherever he has it, it's addressed to the nation. Dressed up as a State of the Union. But it's really addressed to the nation. It's really addressed to the nation. Oh, it's the reverse. It's a State of the Union addressed to the So therefore, it doesn't matter. It's either addressed to the nation. Pretending to pass itself off is a State of the Union, but it's not. It ends up just becoming addressed to the nation. Everyone looks at it. Everyone watches it, but it's not in the House. It's like addressed to the nation. You could try to package it up as a State of the Union, but Nancy already won because Nancy kept Trump from going in there. Trump can't figure out a way to get in the House. Doesn't matter if he did speak on Tuesday. Everyone's just going to say that's addressed to the nation. It's not a State of the Union. It's addressed to the nation. So he already freaking lost. And you know what? Or if he had it in a rally type format, they'll just say that's not one of Trump's rallies. So they'll say it's either a rally or it's an address, or it's a state address to the nation. But it is State of the Union address. So he already lost. And he also already lost on the freaking funding because the Congress is not wanting it. The Republicans want cheap labor. Democrats want a free vote. Mike Lee. All right, I disagree with Trump on tariffs, with the exemption of Mexico and China. Their tariffs too, because it's unfair deals that they do. If Trump's using his leverage to get them to back down their tariffs, then I'm for it. But I'm not for it is the charged goods. And so I disagree with him on that, unless he's just using to try to lower tariffs in the other countries so we can have favorable gain into their country, so they pay as much as they pay into ours and it's fair trade, then yeah, fine, use it as to lower them, yes. But other than that, I'm not for tariffs, and I'll call him out for it if he's for tariffs. I don't support tariffs. I call Trump out when I disagree. I'm not a Trumpette. I'm not a Trumpian. I'm not a humping up and down my leg like all you people fighting over Obama were. And you freaking conservatives and trying to act like, oh, I'm Mr. Conservative now, but you get in bed with the left. You try to appease them last Friday. Why did you go on Bill Maher last Friday? Because you sit there and you think that you're someone, Eric Erickson. You're not. You're not. You're considered a stooge. Again, realize you can't go on these liberal shows because they don't want to have a discussion with you, but you're still puppet in the stage. You want to sit there and act like, hey, I'm Mr. Conservative. You're not Mr. Conservative. If you're going to sit there and pounce on Trump when he's trying to fight for conservative principles, well, you can see this, or he did this, or how does this have leverage? You're going to try to psychoanalyze how he did. Well, why don't you see? You think you can do better, Steve? And yeah, Steve Deace would have done the State of the Union, but it wouldn't have been the State of the Union to anybody that's watching. Everyone that's watching would be like, this ain't the State of the Union. It's in the House. No. And you can call it all anything you want. You can dress it up however you think it's dressed up. But we're not dressed up as that because we don't know what it really is. It is really a dress to the nation. You can try to package it up as State of the Union. Everyone's going to bite it. It's not. Anyone else you have it, it's going to be still, everyone's going to say, this is a address to the nation. This ain't State of the Union address. And he already lost because, you know what, if he has it, let's say he has it in Philadelphia where the Declaration of Independence happened. You think that matters? No, Nancy Pelosi was like, yeah, he still got to have it, but he didn't get to have it in the House. So Nancy still thinks it's a win. And so Nancy can still go on bragging that I got the king from having it at the House and everyone else got to have it at the House. And so he can still embarrass Trump over it. I really don't care. I think he should hold off on it because he should be allowed to have it in that House. And when he gets to have it in the House, he gets to stick it to her. And he did because they don't want no government that's broken anyways. And this way, no more damage can come, no more spending can come, no bloated government can come. This government just shows how corrupt it is and how really a swamp this government is. This government is a swamp. This government is a swamp. Let's listen to a little more Steve Deace.
Logic is that this is just one less thing that Pelosi during the shutdown can hold over Trump's head. It's a mess. You are seeing right now what we feared in 2015 and 2016.
Yep.
Don't want all the time, but at least what I feared in 2015 and 2016 with Trump is even though he said some things and maybe he was going to be like the fullback who just clears a path for running back, whatever. He was just going to be like a bull in a china shop. My fear was that I didn't think that he was. Because we're not seeing, we really are seeing the con man right now, Steve. You said earlier, oh, this is the swamp telling you you're just a con. No, we really are seeing the con man right now. The con man sold you a bill of goods that was, I will be a bull in a china shop. I will make it, I will win on the wall. I'll build a wall. I will beat the Democrat. None of that is happening.
And it's because of Congress, not Trump. Trump ain't the con man. Congress is the con people. Congress is what is con. You're the con that's trying to con the con on the Steve Deace show by trying to sit there and say that Trump is a con. Trump is not a con. And no, I'm not a Trumpette. The freaking Congress is the con. The Republicans lied to you. They said they wanted to repeal Obamacare. They lied to you. They said they wanted to get rid of Common Core. They lied to you. They said they want to pass reciprocity. They lied to you. Congress lied to you. Congress is the liars. The House and Senate's the liars. The Republicans are the liars in the House and Senate. Trump's not a con man. Trump is trying to do it. Congress is not pushing Trump's agenda. Congress is not helping Trump at all. He can't get the wall because unless he's a ruler or a king, how is he going to sit there and get the wall if they don't want to give him the wall? He's not a con man. He says he's going to do the wall. He didn't con you. It's not read my lips. Like he says, it's going to turn to read my lips. You're going to hear it at the end of this segment before he goes to a half-hour break at 12:30. He sit there and says, oh, it's the read my new lips thing. No, it's not. Really, the Congress, say it to Congress, not to Trump. Trump is not read my lips, no new taxes lie, pledge. This is the Congress. This is the Congress that said, read my lips, no new taxes. This is the Congress that should get that raft, not Trump. The Congress is the ones that lied to you and said, we're not going to leave this country unprotected. We're going to pass a law. The ones that said, read my lips, no new taxes lie. Besides George H.W. Bush was Congress. Congress is the read my lips, no new taxes pledge. Not Trump. Trump is not the read my lips, no new taxes pledge. You'll hear it coming up.
Next step, unless there is something that we don't know, and as we always say on this show, and I know
Congress is the problem. Trump is not the con. Trump is not the con.
There actually is some four-dimensional chess here. I think that
not caving on anything. Congress is the one caving. Congress is the one not passing anything. Unless you want Trump to be a ruler and a king, he's not caving.
Let me use another football analogy. You're heading into halftime of the game. and you watched your team come out with a game plan that you're like, why did they ever think this was going to work? When every gumshoe fan knows this wouldn't work. And now the game, you're behind, and the game is not over at halftime. But you do know that if they come out with that exact same game plan we just saw, they're not winning that game.
Or failure to make adjustments.
That's where we're at right now. And what yesterday's events tell me is they're not unified in the White House. What it tells me is that the president is listening to multiple sources and reacting. What it tells me is you've got the Stephen Miller faction who would be more in line with where we're at, who told him, yeah, you tell Nancy Pelosi, man, go take a long walk off a short cliff, and he sends that letter out. And then she says, I'm not giving in. And then the president goes, and Javanka comes in and says, but daddy, and he caved.
He didn't cave, Steve Dace. He just couldn't convince her to give him the house. And if he can't get the house, then what is he supposed to do? Just go bury down the doors? He can't go bury down the doors. It doesn't work that way. Unless you want to be a ruler and a king, there's no way he can sit there and birthright. You want to be a ruler and a king? Fine. You know what? Here's the thing. He should do executive Obama did, right? You want to be a ruler and a king, huh? Because how else do you expect it to do this, you know? Unless he's a ruler and a king. It's not that he didn't make the adjustments. It's not that he's sitting there capitulating and kowtowing. It's the House and Senate Republicans that are kowtowing. It's the House and Senate Republicans. You sit there and put this on Trump. It should be on Congress. It should be on the House and Senate. It should be on the Republican rhinos. And instead of sitting there saying, we got conned by the President Trump, no, it's you guys got conned. That you refuse to accept. You got conned by the Congress. Congress had no intentions of carrying out Trump's agenda. And let me tell you something else. In spite of the Farm Bill, I still like Ted Cruz. In spite of the fact that you guys don't like Mike Lee on pulling out from Syria, which I support because we can't fix that country indefinitely. I have to go over there quick, but you know what? You don't like Mike Lee on that. But what I'm trying to make, and the point I'm trying to make is that either one were president, it would make a difference. And even if Mike Lee or Ted Cruz would have done a State of the Union on Tuesday somewhere else, you really still think that, oh, look at this. They could just tell us, well, we can have it. They could dictate, well, we can have the State of the Union. Why should they be allowed to dictate, well, we can have the State of the freaking Union? No. They don't get to sit there and dictate that to us. We can have what we want to have, and that's in the House. It's the people's house. And so you're going to sit there and cave and let them just tell me, well, you can have it there or not? No, we're going to have it there no matter how much it takes, how long it takes. We're going to sit there and get into that house. And when we get in that house, we're going to be patient, even if it's in May. Fine, we're in the house. We get to sit there and say, yep, I finally got into this house. There was no way, Nancy, I was going to let Nancy... I don't know how I'm going to get into that house, but however long it takes, I'm getting into that house, and I'm going to have this stadium. And when I have it, at least I didn't capitulate like Steve Dace and say, we need to have it somewhere else because otherwise it's a win for Nancy. When Trump's not giving up, did Trump sign this bill yet? No, Trump didn't sign any damn bill yet, Steve Dace. Trump is still holding strong, and you're sitting there attacking him like he's a con job because you want to position yourself. You know what, Trumper? It's because, you see, at least Glenn Beck caught himself and all. You know why? Because he doesn't have to get sucked up into this, oh my God, I gotta stay this anti-Trump crap like I did in the election. Otherwise I lose credibility because I'm sitting there like, oh my God, that's not what I said in the election cycle. I become someone else. Well, see, Glenn Beck doesn't have to be anyone else because he's still the same person. He was done based on principle grounds. It wasn't to be anti-Trump grounds, so therefore he can sit there and support him now because guess what? That's still his principle. Supporting Trump when he's right is his principle. So he's not abandoning what he said. I'm always principled. But when your word is not for Trump, then you feel like you still have to be not for Trump. You have to be anti-Trump. Since Glenn Beck's word is always principled, as long as when Trump does something good is his principle, then he is not. He is not changing into someone else. He is still the same person he said he was in the election cycle. Whether I like the Cheetos thing or not, it doesn't matter. He's still the same person. And you know what? So he doesn't have to sit there and worry about becoming someone else. You're not saying they're having to become someone else and like, oh, I'm going to be discredited. So to sit there and still be credible and not be uncredible of a source, I have to sit there and still act like Trump is this person I said he was. Otherwise, people would not believe me no more. And I'll lose my credibility. Since Glenn Beck's word is always principled, and since, you know, I always support him when he's principled, that leaves the door open where Glenn can agree with Trump on things where you still have to be anti. Otherwise, you're wrong. And you can't admit you're wrong about Trump. And even Glenn's admitted he's wrong about Trump, that he's done more things than he thought he was going to do. And he went down the MAGA hat last May on his radio show. So you know what? This is that's why Glenn Beck didn't leave himself up to the never Trump lingo. Because it boxes you into having to feel like I have to justify my non-vote. See, I'm going to sit there and do a strong argument and make Trump like the bad person so I can continue to sit there and still be principled. And look at me, I'm the moral person because I really said that Trump was not Trump, and you know what? Trump isn't Trump. But you know what? Now Trump is who I said he is because I'm going to paint that picture, and now it's going to resemble what I said in the election cycle, so I still have relevance. So people still trust me and think that I am who I am. Instead of doing a knee-jerk reaction. Mr. Steve Deace, Mr. Steve Dacey. Now, how you like that, Steve Deace? You're just sitting there having to be anti-Trump just so you can stick to what you say in the election cycle. Because then it looks like, oh my God, look at this. He's discredited. He discredited himself. No one's going to trust me anymore. No one's going to believe anymore because they think I lied to him. Oh my God, I bet this guy is this Hitler. I bet this guy is so bad. He's not a conservative. So now if I don't sit there and say, I told you I was right, not voting for him, otherwise you're going to look like an ass and no one's going to trust or believe you no more. So you have to keep this little front going, Mr. Steve Deace. Is that a truth bomb enough for you? Is that a truth bomb enough for you, Steve Deace? Yeah, that's the truth bomb that you need to understand. And that's the truth. You're saying that because you sit there and think, oh, Trump's sold out. Well, you tell me how you can get a wall through that. See, even 2 years ago, you said, why didn't you just do it 2 years ago? Because Paul Ryan didn't want a wall either. And Mitch McConnell, guess what? Just like he did 2 years ago, he would have done it today too, and he did do it today. That's why the Senate didn't pass it. We're not getting the wall from this Congress, no matter who the president is. And the only difference between Trump and your precious Ted Cruz is that Cruz would have still done the State of the Union, but he would have done it in the House. He probably would have done it in the Senate, maybe. But guess what? That's capitulating in too, because you can let her bill you out of the Senate. No, keep fighting until you can have it in the House. Then when you can have it in the House, then you have it. It's no rush. You can have it anytime you want to. It's not like we're open to do any of his agendas anyway, so the government's reopened. So who cares? Who's in a hurry rush? It's like there's no Congress there to do anything because they're out of work right now. They're not in session because they can't agree on a deal because they don't want to protect us. And you got these never Trumpers, Steve Deace mainly, saying they're trying to tell you what you should think about Donald J. Trump. When the fact of the matter is that they want to say that just to make you not like Trump. They're trying to turn Trump on you because they want to blame Trump for why they're not getting this. And they don't want to look inside themselves knowing that's really the Congress, the reason why we don't have a wall. And Congress is the reason we're not conservative right now. And Congress is the reason things aren't getting done. And you know what? We still wouldn't have the House even if it was Ted Cruz. They would tell Ted Cruz or Mike Lee you can't use the House. They would tell Ted Cruz or Mike Lee to take a hike on the bill. The only difference is they might have agreed to do it somewhere else, but then they kind of just caved and like, well, all right, you make us do something else, and fine. Why are you backing down? It's not like it's private like DePaul, like with Ben Shapiro. You had to do it nearby because you can't get DePaul to come and let him speak that. But you know what? Here, this is the people's house. We own the House. The House belongs to the people. And there's no way he should have to concede the House to anybody. And one more thing, if you think that a few weeks matter, you're crazy, Steve Deace. Don't care how long it takes. When he has it in the House, it'll be worth it because he didn't capitulate and he got to have what he should have in the people's house. And you tell me how you can get a wall to a non-conservative Congress on this issue. The Republicans want cheap labor, Democrats want a free vote. So there's no way it would have gotten any different if it would have been Mike Lee or Ted Cruz as president. And no, again, I'm not a special Trump pleader, but you're wrong, Steve Deace. And then you want to flip it and act like Trump is a bad person? Shame on you, Mr. Steve Deace. I thought you were more credible than that. And you're listening to Steve Deace on the radio? What the hell? He's a con man. How did he con you? He's not conning. He wants to do this. It's Congress that's making it hard for him. Congress is the one that's not willing to budge. Congress waited 9 months for Obamacare. And they waited a whole 9 months. So that means that's about as long as they want to keep the government shut down. So it's going to take 9 months, and even then, they'll probably say, keep it going, because we're not passing the wall. So you sit there and you tell me you have any idea, you tell me how. You sit there as a coach and telling him, oh, he's not making the adjustments, they're not making the adjustments. But Steve Deace, if you're the head coach of a football team, would you know what place you run? Would you be able to sit there? If you sit there attacking Trump, then tell us. Instead of just criticize him, how would you go about it? Tell him what he should do instead of just attacking him. But how you get the freaking wall? Tell them how you get the freaking wall. Because I don't see you having any suggestions how you can. So tell them a play you can use to get the left to agree, and even the right too, because they're also for it too, for free labor and cheap labor, as they went in for a free vote. So you tell me how you can sit there and, well, oh, Trump's the right of deal. I'm not the one that said I could be president. Yeah, but you're the one criticizing, and you have no ideas. You're an empty filler. You have no freaking ideas. And even though you stood by Warren Moore, you did not push for Strange or Mo Brooks. And only because you're friends with Warren Moore is the only reason why you didn't attack him. But, oh, yeah, the other Trumper buddies, they sit there and attacked him. They sit there and say, oh, we can have Warren Moore, but you didn't sit there and put forth a good candidate. Why is you other people don't want to do anything, and then you just bitch it out when you only didn't result? But you claim to be principled. Now you Trumpers are principled, you former number Trumpers, I don't care who you are. You act like you're principled, you act like you're holding up, but